Hey, what's up everybody? Hammerheart Metal Reviews here once again. Today we're doing something brand new. I'm going to be talking about my top 15 favorite black metal EPs of all time. So that is, none of these are full-length albums. These are all classified as EPs. I'm not ranking them from 1 to 15. I'm just going to go alphabetical and talk about 15 awesome black metal EPs that I absolutely love, that I think you should go check out. As usual, give me your picks down below. Let me know which ones you can't believe I didn't mention, or just which other ones I should go check out. Always like to get your recommendations for new stuff to listen to. I didn't spend a ton of time putting this together. I kind of just made my list off the top of my head, so I'm sure there's some stuff I'm just not thinking of. I might be overlooking and missing, so that's why I need your comments down below. But anyways, I'm just going to get right into this. 15, like I said, alphabetical order, not ranking these. I'm not picking my favorite out of these. These are just 15 absolutely awesome EPs. All black metal. Maybe in the future I will do some different subgenres of metal and do my favorite EPs from those. But for today, we're just talking about black metal. So, drum roll, let's get this going. Up first, I'm going with Agalloch and their EP of Stone, Wind, and Pillor. So this one is from early on in their career and really started dialing up the folk influence. Not that it wasn't there on their debut album, but this was kind of a sign of things to come, and they've released so many EPs. This is probably my favorite one. Could have gone with Faustian Echoes, but I went with Stone, Wind, and Pillor, mostly on the strength of the title track, which is one of my favorite Agalloch songs ever, as well as the awesome cover of Kneel to the Cross, which is a Sol Invictus cover, a nice folk song cover that they really put their own spin on, and it's just really well done, an awesome EP, easy choice for me to be on this list. Up next, I'm going with Blut Nord, another band that has a ton of EPs. So which one am I going with? I'm going with What Once Was Liber Part 2. So this EP was part of like a trilogy of EPs that kind of was released in the same time frame as the 777 trilogy. So these ones were kind of maybe pushed to the side, didn't get as much attention as that trilogy since it was such a well-received and recognized trilogy. Blut Nord has had a ton of different stages throughout their career, and this one is very much on the darker side of their sound, really focuses on the black metal while still incorporating some of that industrial and strange stuff going on, really these dark and terrifying soundscapes. This is only 2 tracks and it's about half an hour long, but really out of these, like this trilogy of EPs, I think this one easily is my favorite and probably my favorite EP by Blut Nord as a whole. Had such a long career, but this one stands out as one of my favorite EPs by them and just one of my favorite black metal EPs. Up next, an all-time classic, Burzum with Aske. How could that not be on here? I mean, yes, it's technically an EP. The version of CD I have has the debut Burzum plus the EP Aske just attached to it, but I'm just considering this an EP on its own. That's how it was originally released. I mean, the highlight here is one of my favorite Burzum songs of all time, A Lost Forgotten Sad Spirit. Very lengthy one to close this off, which is just top-notch black metal writing. Like, the songwriting on this, absolutely amazing. Say what you will about Varg and Burzum, but this is essential black metal listening. Very easy choice to make this list. Speaking of all-time classics, this list would not be complete without Emperor and their self-titled EP. So if you haven't heard this before, this actually was released prior to Into the Nightside Eclipse and features some of the same tracks, but on here on the first EP, this actually sounds a lot more raw, and Ishan's vocals actually are even like more blood-curdling and higher pitched. It just gives it a completely different vibe. It's so evil and just awesome. Like, this is an all-time classic black metal EP. You've got the original version of I'm the Black Wizards. Wrath of the Tyrant is a great tune. Like, all in all, once again, all-time classic, had to be here. Very easy choice. Up next, another all-time classic. What do you know? There's a few of these on here. Obviously, this list is going to have some of the all-time classics. It's also going to have some newer stuff that I love. But while I'm going alphabetical, this is just 3 in a row of all-time classics. That's just how it's worked out. So I'm talking about Enslaved with their EP Hordanes Land. So wow, this is possibly one of my favorite EPs by anyone ever of all time. You got Slagadai Skogan Borten 4, as well as Alfalder Odin. Come on. Those are just amazing early Enslaved songs. I love this era of the band. You still had shades of the progressiveness that would come, but this was more rooted in just classic black metal with some experimentation going on with the keyboards. And they were so young when they wrote this. Like, they were teenagers and they wrote songs this good. How is that even possible? This is absolutely insane. If you like the vibe on like their debut Viking Gerveldi and have not checked out this EP, do yourself a favor and go check it out. Very similar in style. It's just a few tracks, but absolutely will floor you. Amazing EP, had to be here. All right, up next, let's go with a more modern one with Gallowbraid and their one and only release, Ashen Eidolon. Sometimes this gets classified as a full length, but it's technically an EP. The original release only had 4 tracks. I know the re-release, which I have, has 5 tracks, which maybe pushes it towards full length territory, but it's still classified as an EP, so I'm including it on this list. This, of course, is the one-man project by Jake Rogers of Visigoth fame, also in Caladan Brood. And here it really brings in like the kind of stylings of atmospheric black metal, like Agalloch-ish in that general area of black metal, subgenre of black metal. But this is just so well done. It's folky, there's acoustic parts, his clean singing is amazing, and his black metal rasp, I don't think he gets enough credit for that either. Absolutely standout stuff here. One of my favorite albums of all time, but it is an EP. Title track, Ashen Eidolon, amazing. The bonus song, Stone of Remembrance, is possibly my favorite one on the album. Oak and Aspen as well. Every song here really hits the mark. Amazing stuff. Very easy choice to make this list. Up next, I'm going with Godkiller and their EP, The Rebirth of the Middle Ages. So if you're not familiar with this project, this is another one-man black metal project from Monaco. So that's very interesting. I mean, Monaco is probably one of the richest places in the world. So typically you don't get black metal coming from there. But nonetheless, this has that early medieval vibe to it that I absolutely love. I can't say I enjoy all of Godkiller's releases, but this early stuff, oh, it'll knock your socks off. Medieval melodic riffing with some keyboards here and there, and the vocals are so tortured. This is just amazing stuff. Songs like The Never-Ending Reign of the Black Knights to close it off. Ooh, top-notch songwriting. Path to the Unholy Frozen Empire. Front to back, I love every second of this. It's only 20 minutes long, so you fly through it and you're like, that's it, I want more. Unfortunately, didn't really ever release another subsequent album in this style. Some of the earlier demos had this same style, which are worth checking out, but this is probably the pinnacle of Godkiller's career, at least in my opinion. Go check it out if you have not heard it. All right, up next, I'm going with Havukruunu. This was a hard band to pick which EP because they've got a few, but I actually went with their newest one, Kuu Erkylän yllä. Probably mispronouncing that, so I apologize. But yeah, this one was just released a couple years ago. It's actually their newest release, but it was all older tracks from the early days of the band that they've reimagined, rearranged with modern production, and it is just so good. I mean, every Havukruunu release is packed with tasty black metal riffs. It's so epic and heroic, and I absolutely love it. Like I said, hard choice here. Go check out every Havukruunu release, but yeah, I went with this one for today for this list. Up next, one of my all-time favorite black metal bands. It's very underrated, Horn, with their EP Retrograd. So this is a one-man pagan black metal project from Germany. This is from later in their career. Like early on, it was more on the raw, atmospheric side of things. And then these days, really bringing in more of a folky influence that just transports you to the mountains. I mean, I've talked about Horn enough on this channel that I don't need to go into too much detail. But this EP came out sandwiched in between Turmam Hang and Mongang, those two albums, and then one more album after that, Verzet. So it's kind of got that similar style of their later career, of his later career, with just the sound and the better production compared to the earlier days. And it's just a super enjoyable black metal EP. Solid stuff. The title track, Retrograd, is awesome. Boxfub. All in all, definitely go check it out. All right, up next, Keep of Kalessin with their EP Reclaim. So this was a change of pace for the band after their first couple full lengths. They brought in some new members. This actually features Frost from Satyricon on drums and Attila from Mayhem on vocals, along with Obsidian Claw, the longtime member of Keep of Kalessin, on guitar. And yeah, this is just a standout release over the course of their career. Adding in these different musicians really gives it a different flavor, and it is just absolutely amazing. You got a song like Come Damnation, Obliterator. Front to back, this EP just slays. The drumming is intense. Of course, Attila's very unique vocals are standout. All in all, if you have not heard this EP before, go check it out right now. If anything I just said sounds good to you, or if you're interested in any of those musicians, definitely got to check this out. It's awesome, awesome stuff. All right, I got, I don't know, 5 or 6 more here. Up next, another modern one, Moonlight Sorcery with Piercing Through the Frozen Eternity. So this one just came out, what was it, 2022? They've already released a few EPs, and finally we're getting a full length from this band later this year, which I am absolutely pumped for. This was their first EP, their first release, and it absolutely floored me, knocked my socks off. This is melodic black metal with a little bit of keyboards in there, and the thing that stands out the most is the absolutely amazing guitar solos. It brings in like a neoclassical flavor to the solos, which you don't often get in black metal, and just this combination of all these things really just works so well with the black metal rasp. It's got kind of the old school dirty raw production, and in this style it does not get much better than this. This is an absolutely amazing EP and amazing band that I think big things are going to happen for once this full length comes out. Favorite tracks on here, For Thy Light is Ice, and Woven Hour is absolutely killer. You gotta go check out this band if you have not yet. Amazing stuff. All right, up next, another band that needs no introduction that I've talked about countless times on this channel, Moonsorrow, with their EP Tulimyrsky. So this one came out around the middle of their career after they had started expanding their songwriting and really writing long epics, and this, I believe, is their longest song ever. The title track, Tulimyrsky, is like 30 minutes to kick it off. This EP is actually like over 65 minutes, but this is really the one new song, and then it just features a couple cover songs and a couple redone early songs from their demo days. But really the focus of this EP is the title track, half an hour of just folky black metal brilliance, a band that I absolutely adore, and this was a very easy choice to be on this list. All right, up next, another modern example, Stormkeep, with their debut EP, Galdrum. So of course this band got a lot of recognition with their first full-length Tales of Other Time. This one came out first, and it is just as good. Really awesome stuff. Features some guest vocals by Jake Rogers from Gallowbraid on a couple songs here. My favorite track here easily being Of Lore. That is an amazing song. It's possibly my favorite Stormkeep song. Another awesome one, Glass Caverns of Dragon Kings. This has got, if you haven't heard the band at all, change that. Go listen to them right now. But this is melodic black metal with like dungeon synth incorporated in. It's like a throwback to the early 90s days. Think like early Emperor. Really got that same kind of vibe, and it's just really well done. Catchy songs. Awesome, awesome stuff. All right, up next, another one of my favorite all-time bands, Summoning, with Nightshade Forests. So this is a 4-track EP that is full of leftover songs from the Dal Guldur sessions, which was their third full-length album. All these songs would have fit perfectly on that album. They had leftover material, wanted to release it, and wow, every single song on this just really kicks ass. Summoning style, epic, atmospheric black metal. You know what you're getting here. You know the style, especially from the early stages of their career. You got songs like Mirkwood, Habanen, Beneath the Stars, but like I said, all 4 tracks here are amazing. This is one of my favorite EPs ever as well. Very easy choice for my list. All right, I got 2 more. The next one is probably more of an underrated one, and that is Thyrane, with their debut EP, or maybe it's a demo. I've seen it get classified as both, but I'm putting it here anyways, Black Harmony. If it's classified only as a demo and not an EP, so be it. It's only like 4 or 5 tracks, half an hour long. That sounds like an EP to me. This band started out with like the classic black metal formula, later went on to more like industrial stuff that I'm not necessarily a huge fan of, but this debut EP absolutely slays. Great riffs, Really reminds me of early Satyricon. Got that same kind of vibe to it anyways. Great riffs, great vocals, just satanic black metal done right. Songs like Enthroned by Antichrist, some of the riffs in there, so catchy, so good. The title track, Black Harmony, as well. All in all, underrated one, definitely worth your time. Go check out Thyrane's first EP if you have not heard it. And that just leaves one. This list would not be complete without some Canadian content. Maybe you can kind of see it up there. The debut Woods of Ypres release, Against the Seasons, Cold Winter Songs from the Dead Summer Heat. So arguably Woods of Ypres, they get classified as black metal sometimes. It's not like pure black metal, I know this. But in their early days, this is definitely their most black metal release. It still features some of the doom elements that would be present on their later day releases, but where their later day releases were maybe more on the doom side with touches of black metal, I would say this first release is black metal with some touches of doom. And it's just really well done. It's definitely their most aggressive release. It is only an EP, but Woods 1 absolutely knocked it out of the park. Songs like The Sea of Immeasurable Loss, A Meeting Place and Time. David Gold at this point wasn't even doing vocals, actually. He was the drummer, but he wrote all the songs, and his drumming on this is sick. He is just a great musician, a great songwriter. After this, he would take over essentially everything about the band, but this release still just holds a special place in my heart. It's absolutely amazing. One of the best Canadian black metal EPs ever, for sure. And that wraps up my list of my top 15 favorite black metal EPs. So, like I said before, give me your recommendations and picks down below. Let me know what you thought of any of these. And until next time, I'm Heart Metal Reviews, out.